Liselle and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things writing, traditional publishing, and a little bit of reading. And this is the November vlog. Things aren't off to a great start. The evil orange Cheeto has prevailed in the States, which is really disappointing. It's super disappointing. And I know I'm Canadian and I live in Canada, but the thing about Canada is that our politics tend to follow US politics. And I feel like there's a lot of like misconceptions of Canadians that like, oh, we would never do that. Ridiculous. You absolutely would. And I think seeing bigotry prevail in the US has unfortunately like made me feel like that is something that is going to be potentially coming for us too. And of course I'm devastated for all of my friends in the US. They're going to be affected by a lot of those horrible changes that are going to be coming. So yeah, I mean, it hasn't been great. And if you're watching this video and for whatever reason that me saying that offended you, I am shocked that you lasted on this channel for as long as you've lasted because that is wild to me. But anyway, yeah, so it's not a great time. And it's disappointing. I just feel like, I don't know, it just makes me think that like, wow, like there are a bunch of people in the world that just like don't care about other people, just point blank don't care. And that's disappointing when you want to believe in humanity a little bit. But still lots of other great people. And of course I will keep writing my books. I will keep writing my Black characters, my queer characters. And yeah, it's just a little bit, yeah, it makes the world feel like it's heading in a direction that's really disappointing and painful because it kind of seems like we hadn't even achieved equality. Like we were still just trying to get to equality. And it feels like it's taken a sharp dive. So yeah, that's disappointing. But I won't dwell on that too much because I mean, it makes me sad. So I'm gonna move on to talking about talking about book stuff. Mastery of Monsters, there was a little bit of a gap between my last writing vlog and this one. And basically what I was doing is I was reading over the first draft of the second book in the Mastery of Monsters trilogy. So I read through that and I was very, very happy with my read through. I think it's so funny when you write a first draft. I feel like I was like, I feel like this is going okay, and I was like feeling pretty good about it, but there were also things where I was like, oh, this is like so messy and like let's see, and I don't know how this is gonna go over. But I was really pleased with reading it. And I mean, it's not a short book by any means, but the pacing is fast. It's like almost breakneck speed. Like it reads so fast, which I'm honestly pleased about, because I like that sort of pacing, though that is definitely something that I'm going to be shifting a little bit because I have to make room for more of my like subplots and that sort of thing. But in just reading through that first draft, I was really happy with all the kind of building blocks of things, even though some things kind of dropped off and I need to do better at certain things. Certainly a lot of subplots need to be fixed. I pretty much have to edit every single character's character arc at this point. But like the bones of the book, I feel like are so good, and I'm really pleased with that. I like had many moments where I hee hee ha ha'd to myself, which I always find like deeply egotistical when I'm like laughing at my own things that I wrote, but I mean, you have to enjoy your writing, right? So I was really happy with that. I think I feel like August as a main character, like the main character of Mastery Monsters, is like, I feel like one of the only like main characters I've written that is like genuinely funny. Like I just find that she's really funny. That's just her personality. And so yeah, it's a fun time to write her and I was very happy about the whole thing. So that was really good. That was very it was a nice positive thing to happen. And so this month I am basically going to be spending most of the time planning edits for the book. So originally when I had planned everything out of like how I was going to do things, I was going to spend 2 weeks planning edits, which meant I was going to have 1 week to read through the whole manuscript, and then I was going to have to plan all the edits in one other week. And I quickly realized that that was completely unrealistic and just not possible. I in fact need 2 weeks to plan just because of how many things I need to like move around and like fix and edit, and I don't want to rush through planning what the edits are going to be, because then I'm just going to end up in like the same situation as when I was drafting, in which like some things are like falling apart. I don't want to rush the planning, because that's what I really need to spend that extra thinking time on. So that's what I've been doing so far this week. I've been doing the planning, and I have somehow added like 10 chapters. I was so here's the thing. In this book, she's supposed to be having this mentorship relationship with this professor. And there weren't enough opportunities for that to happen. And so I had to add in some more chapters for that. There were some other subplot opportunities. I had to add in more chapters for that. Other subplots, I had to add in more chapters. And then I turned around and there were like 10 additional chapters. I'm very much hoping that it's not going to affect the pacing too much, because like I said, I really do want to, I felt like that quick pacing was really, really good, and I don't want to lose that in adding these things so that the subplots can happen. But I'm hoping that since they're part of subplots and everything is like revealing different things about the mystery that's happening in the book, I'm hoping that that will make it so it's all right to have those extra chapters. And then I think probably what I'll just have to do is I'll probably have to do a bit of a like cutting the fat, in which like going through and just like trimming around like certain words and certain things, just to make sure that every chapter is kind of like as succinct as it should be. Not in the vein of like word count, like for cutting down word count, but honestly for like saving pacing and making sure that the book feels like it is fast paced, because that's what I want. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. And what I've also started doing is I've decided to make a sort of master database, if you will, for a mastery of monsters. And I'm making this in Notion. So what I started to realize is what I usually do is that in Plotter, which is a program that I use to plot my books, I have a character database in there. But the problem is that character database, there's no split screen function in Plotter. And so I find that when I'm drafting and I'm using the Plotter like plotting tools to help me, it's harder for me to like make myself go to that character section. And then also the character section, like there are some things about it that I don't quite like so much, which is like part of the thing is like the character photos are like really, really small. And I just realized, I was like, I don't think this is serving me. I also have a bunch of world building stuff in Scrivener. And so I'm also having to look at that. And it was just kind of like, it was becoming too many things. I was also putting like stuff for Mastery of Monsters in like notes apps on like spare pieces of paper. And it was just like, it was becoming too much to keep track of. And so I decided to make this a Mastery of Monsters series database in Notion. So this has all my world building stuff. It has a character database of all of my characters, which I really, really like, because you can do this relational feature in Notion. So I can connect which characters, because they fight in pairs. So I can connect the partners together. I can connect who is their parents. I can connect children. I can connect like other family members. I have a big profile picture that I can look at, and I can just like add a lot of information, and I can also filter really easily by categories. And so I've just decided that that's the best way for me to do it, because then I can have my Plotter screen up, and then on a separate like little section or separate window, I can have my Notion up, and that'll just make it easier for me to do all of my edits. And then along with that, I've moved all my world building stuff from Scrivener also into that Notion platform. And then I've also created like a separate section in that Notion for promotional. So for when I'm promoting a Mastery of Monsters, for any little notes I want, I'm gonna put like quotes and stuff in there. I also have a separate section for like the book I'm working on, for me to work through things, because also usually how I do things is that I plot the actual subplot right in Plotter. I do it all right there, but sometimes I feel like I maybe miss out on things doing it that way. And so now what I've started doing is in Notion, I create a page for whatever subplot thing it is that I need to work out. I write everything down that's important for that, like everything that's part of it from top to bottom. And then I translate that into the Plotter file using that kind of Plotter interface. And I find that that is working much, much better for me as part of this revision process, especially because when I'm fixing these subplots, I need to like kind of see everything and like write down and work things out. And so this new system is working really, really well for me. I'm really pleased about doing it this way. I'm also really pleased about having everything to do with a Mastery of Monsters in a singular spot, so that I'm not, so anytime I'm like, oh, I wanted to note this thing down about a Mastery of Monsters, I put it in the Notion and I know that it's there. I don't have to go to all these different places. And so I think that's how I'm going to keep track of everything from now on. Maybe at some point in the future, Plotter will improve their kind of world building tools, but for now I was just like, I can't wait around for them to make it better when I can use another tool that I already have. So I've just decided to do it that way, and so that's been great. So that's been my big thing this week in like planning all my edits, is putting together that Notion. It's also really pretty and like aesthetic and stuff, so I like it that way too. But yeah, so I'm doing good about that. I'm feeling pleased. I am kind of like cataloging into the future, suspecting that I'm going to have to ask for an extension to get this edit done, only just like an extra week maybe from my editor, but we'll see. I will continue with like planning things out. So I'm now, am I taking 4 weeks? Yes, so I am taking 3 weeks. I was supposed to plan in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Anyway, I'm taking 4 weeks for this, so I need now 3 weeks to plan. And so basically probably this whole vlog is going to be me planning, and then towards the end of November / December is going to be me doing all of these edits and kind of getting that done, and potentially into January, depending on whether or not I end up needing that extension. So that's how things are going for right now. Come and join me on a tour of my new writing desk setup. Here is the overall look of it. And I have my headphones that I keep here, along with this little kind of space below for my loop earplugs that help me stay focused and block out noise, and my various lip balms. Over here is where I usually mount my phone, and I just kind of set it down there, which is nice because it's adjustable. And then over here, I usually have a cup of tea, which I put on my coaster that I made using my Cricut. And over here is my new computer, which is the Mac Mini that you can see I've already decorated with various stickers. And there's probably some more spaces I could decorate too. And then I just keep some cords here for my iPad and my phone, which is nice because you can kind of click them in or out. And here, this is a monitor stand. Obviously, I'm not using it like that. I'm more using it for storage, but it's nice because it has drawers. And so I keep some camera equipment there and some of my external hard drives as well. And then up top, I usually have my little daily to-do list, which is nice because when I've actually finished with it for the day, I can just kind of tuck it under and put my pens away. And then it makes the space feel a little bit more neat. And my monitors here are two Samsung monitors that I've covered with a permanent purple vinyl, and I have matched the wallpaper too. And there's my little webcam. And this desk mat I absolutely love. It's this cloud desk mat that just perfectly matches the vibes. And then I keep my laptop over here now since I'm only going to use it for travel, and its power cord is just over there. And this is kind of like my little craft area, and I've set up this overhead filming for it as well. And then this is where my dogs sleep. Thanks for joining me, and comment on which part of the tour you liked the most. Swear we could have met in a past life, dreaming every night like the last time, so I end all my days with you. Yeah, we should share a backseat in a taxi to get home. No need for either of us at this point to sleep alone, 'cause I don't like ending my days with you. You can waste my time. am back from Edmonton, so I went to Edmonton to visit my family, and that was really good. It was really great to see them. I haven't been to Edmonton since I was like a kid. If you didn't know, that's where I basically like was born, question mark. So I was actually born in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, but we lived on the Alberta side of Lloydminster. And so like I spent like the first like 5 years of my life essentially there. And I just like, I had gone back like a couple times when I was younger, but really not for a very, very long time, probably like 20 years. So it was great to go and see my family that lives there and hang out with them. I also went to Audrey's bookstore, which is in like downtown Edmonton. I signed some books, so if you are in the Edmonton area, you can get a signed copy of Blood Like Magic, Blood Like Fate, or Delicious Monsters, all in paperback they have there. So I signed those if you want to check that out. I also got a book, so I bought Cuckoo, I don't really know how to say this. I think like Cuckoo, anyway, by Gretchen Felker Martin. So I got this one because I read and own Manhunt, which I really, really liked, and this was her debut. And so I wanted to pick up this second book, which is about, it's like set in the 90s, like 1995, at a conversion camp following like a group of, well, there were like a group of queer teens that went to the camp, and something happened and they are coming back like later as adults. And there's something about it with like doppelgangers. And if you know me, you know I love a doppelganger story. I love it so much. I would love to write a doppelganger story at some point in the future. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but anyway, so I got this one and I'm really looking forward to reading it. So I'm excited about that. I haven't been doing like a lot of book shopping really this year because I've been mostly waiting until holidays when we go down, so that I can buy a bunch from like indie bookstores and try and support them a little bit more. So yeah, so I was very happy to get a copy of this. And just overall had like a really good visit, and I did do some writing there, which I'm sure is what you care about. So I basically worked on finishing up planning my planning of edits for this second book in the Mastery series. And so I have everything all planned out now, which I'm really glad about. And I did end up having like a little bit less to plan than I thought. When I took some time to think about it, I realized that a lot of basically I had a lot of things where I was like, redo this whole character arc or revise the character arc or whatever. And then I realized that actually I think I did the character arc well in the story. It's just that character isn't in the story enough for you to see the full arc progression. And so I decided that the best way for me to do that would be to like use the plotter filter function, because I tag every chapter with all the characters that are in each chapter, and find the chapters where that character is more sparse and just kind of add that into my general revision notes, as opposed to like replanning out a whole arc. And in some cases for characters in Notion, in that new like series world building Bible I created, I basically wrote out the whole arc so that I can understand what's happening from start to finish, and then I just went into Plotter and I filled in those sort of like blank spots using all of that. And I also added in a bunch of chapters, kind of like 10 plus chapters. So at minimum I will be adding like 10,000 words to the story, which is, it is what it is. I'm not worried about cutting at this point. I'm just trying to be concerned with getting everything in that needs to be in, and at a later point I can worry about cutting things down. But for right now, I'm just like, I need to make sure that everything that needs to be in there is in there and is getting in there. And so I feel like I've got a good plan going forward for that. But it does mean I will also have to be doing a lot of drafting. which I didn't really plan for, but it's just what it's gonna be. And I did put together my whole schedule for getting these edits done, and I do actually think that I will be able to get everything done for my deadline, because I was kind of unsure as to whether or not I was gonna have to ask for like a week extension, but planning everything out, I will be able to get it done. I just have to work on New Year's Day, which is fine. I work on New Year's Day and then I can take the 2nd and 3rd off and have like an extended week. And honestly, the whole I'll give myself like a little bit of time in January. I do need to start kind of working on the next project thing, but I at least can like take it a little bit more easy in January until I get these edits back from my editor. But going forward, I'm very excited about the plan I've put together. I think it's really solid. I've also like cut down in Plotter, like I've kind of made a copy of the file and deleted anything that I feel I've already done, just so that my plan can be pretty succinct and like just about things that I actually need to get into this draft, which is good. So I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about this whole series Bible thing that I created in Notion, because it is really, really helpful. And also having my 2 big monitors now, because on the second screen, I can now kind of like have a bit of a split screen of like Notion with all that character stuff and also Plotter with all of my plotting things. And because the screen is much larger, there's enough space for me to have 2 of those things going on and like then have my kind of Scrivener on the other screen. So I'm really happy with my new desk setup. It is really, really serving me well. And so I'm super pleased with that. I think the only thing I want is like, I would like to have like a very long desk mat so it would cover the whole desk, but as of now I'm having trouble finding any of those in like a design that I actually like, so it's a little bit split for now, but yeah, I'm really just glad that I have this plan put together. I feel really solid on it. I feel like I definitely have something to move forward with really thoroughly, and so that's great. And with that being said, I actually am going to end the vlog here, which I know is very not usual for me. I feel like it's been like really like 2 talking clips, and it was just like, I don't know what happened this month. I feel like I really lost the plot. I don't know if it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like being on deadline, or if it's like, I don't know, something magical about turning 33 this month, or like the traveling stuff, and like my partner was away for a period of time and it was just me, and then I did the Edmonton travel, and then I don't know. I just like feel like I was so frazzled this month, but I didn't feel frazzled until I like got home and was like, oh wow, I like did not do a good job vlogging. So hopefully things will be better next month. I also want to edit here just because I've planned these edits, so then the next vlog will be all about me actually doing the edits, and so then like the work I'm doing is a little bit more encapsulated, and hopefully I will be less frazzled, because yeah, I also only read like 2 books this month. I really wanted to read more this month, and yeah, I just did not. But in my defense, I also got really sucked into Arcane, and my YouTube queue is really high right now. I have like 110 videos in my YouTube queue, and so I was doing a lot of video catch up. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the whole month just kind of like got away from me in terms of like I just did like my work my writing work, and then just like whatever else. And I think all those other side things that I usually do, which like, you know, like planning out my social media content for the month and like getting that filmed and like doing my YouTube clips, I don't know, everything just kind of like fell to the wayside, and along with reading too. And so I hope that I can kind of catch things up, but at this point I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just need to fix myself for the new year, and think about it in that way, because yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff in my house too, like reorganizing and like decluttering and all of this stuff, and I don't know, I feel like my mind is just been elsewhere. And yeah, but hopefully things will be better next month, and there will at least this time there will be a December vlog. The last couple years I haven't done that because I've been able to take the whole of December off, but that is not the case anymore, and I don't know that that's going to be the case for a while, considering this series and like how thick and chunky these books are and like how much work I have to do for them. And I always knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I just accepted it because I really like this story and I'm really happy about it. And yeah, so I guess I will see you in the new year for the December vlog, in which I will wrap up kind of doing this edit before I hit that first deadline of handing in this book. And yeah, hopefully things will be a little bit more organized, a little bit less, you know, and you'll get something more substantial from me. I'll also have all my like end of the year content and all my beginning of the year content, which of course I haven't done anything for because again, frazzled for some reason. But yeah, I will see you then. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!